Yo, what up, what up, what up? This is how I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying? What up, what up, what up? Yo, this particular broadcast is gonna be geared towards time. You know what I mean? The time is what it is. Look at the clock, you know what I mean? It's gonna be geared towards time. And the reason my 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 uh my thumbnail is what it is because my channel card is in the same place. That's my channel card. Now, if you don't believe it or you think I'm just, pulling your leg, you know what I mean? I'm not pulling your leg. That's my channel card, and I'm going for mine. You know what I mean? I'm trying to win this argument. It's people trying to tamper with my identity. I'm not going to say Nancy Pelosi, but she's taking her time with the distribution process of the monies afforded for the distribute assistance in the distribution process. She's taking her time. Now the monies have already been appropriated, and they're in the process of appropriating more money. But why would I be getting more money before I got the money that I'm supposed to get for all the stimulus checks I issued last time, for all of the vaccines I issued last time? You saw the whole thing. You see that the whole thing. Every time I have a Bible, I do certain things with the process to assist in the process. So it's a platform. It's a playing field. When I assist in that platform, when I assist in that process, I create a level playing field. Everybody gets their stimulus check. Maybe not at the same time, on time, but everybody gets their stimulus check. So when I'm trying to go to Chicago Motor Cars and purchase a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ 63, I'm not trying to get something that I can't afford. I'm not trying to get something for nothing. I'm not trying to do something that's impossible. I'm well within reason of generating hip hop commercials and purchasing a channel card. I'm well within reason of making albums and generating a real income to purchase my channel card. But the people involved in that process, it's what it is. I'm not gonna say what I have been saying, but I will say that my work has to be accounted for. I'm not putting my work out there. If I put out bad work, if I said motherfucking Lamborghini, suck my motherfucking yeah, motherfuckers, buy Lamborghinis and suck my motherfucking and and if I did that and tried to sell cars, nobody would buy cars. Nobody would buy the cars I was trying to sell. But when I do it, I'd be like, yo, this the 120 degree. You know what I mean? It's me, $1.50. Buy this Lamborghini SVJ 63. And I'll be rocking it. You know what I mean? And when you see me rocking it like that, don't think Lamborghini don't see me rocking it. Don't think, the masses don't see me rocking it. They see me rocking it. They see me rocking it. You know what I mean? So when they see me rocking it and pretend that it's not that real, it has to be accounted for the same way that I'm rocking it. You know what I mean? The same way I'm rocking it, the same way it has to be accounted for. This is no game. Social Security checks in place of your actual work every day. This is no game. Your identity is to be treasured. You know what I mean? When it is that. You know what I mean? When it is that, you're not going to take no Social Security check and say, here's a Social Security check and I'm distributing the vaccine. Nancy Pelosi. You're not going to say, I'm assisting in the stimulus check process. You're not going to say, I'm assisting in the stimulus check process and you're going to say, here's a Social Security check. You're not going to say, you assisting in the vaccine and stimulus check process simultaneously with business cards you distributed at Congress. and here's a social security check. You're not going to do that unless you're intentionally attempting to embezzle money laundering, some type of racketeering scheme to embezzle monies through the government. If you're doing something like that, then that's what you're exposed to. You're exposed to the elements of fraud and deception and conspiracy to commit murder if that's in the equation, because it's no way possible you're going to get away with the crime you commit. And somebody made a comment about my broadcast aloud. I'm yelling. I'm yelling to no audience. If you didn't hear what I was saying, I wouldn't say it. And if I was too loud, I would talk like this. And I would be barking like bow, wow, bow, wow, bow, wow. I would be barking like that, and you wouldn't be able to hear me, and that would be cool. But when I have your full attention, you understand me. You know what I'm saying? You can see what I'm saying. You can see what I'm saying. But when I'm not, as applicable as I appear, you understood everything I said this broadcast. You understood everything I said. Whether you have some type of access to my broadcast now while it's live, and I can't tell that you have access, I don't have nothing to do with that. I'm generating real information and the results are soon to follow. That's all I'm dealing with. That's all I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with nobody committing fraud. I'm not dealing with nobody committing conspiracy to commit murder. I'm not dealing with nobody commit genocide. I'm not dealing with nobody committing, heinous crimes against humanity. I'm not dealing with it. I'm making a movie and I'm going to be in it. I'm going to have my channel cards with an S on it, and I'm going to be making in a movie in the mainstream, doing my thing. Like, Dolla50, today's degree is going to be based on, not being in poverty. You know what I mean? Dolla50. And hype it up. You know how I do. You know how I do. You know what I mean? You know how I do. Don't tell me I'm yelling and all that, because I'll be all up on you like, you think I'm yelling now, you know what I mean? I'm telling you. So it's crazy. I'm not yelling, you know what I'm saying? I'm making sure I have your full attention. I don't want you to be distracted as short of attention span that you have, you know what I mean? Clown movies, you know what I mean? Yeah. So some time ago, I was in Atlanta, Georgia, and you know what I'm saying? I was pushing something. I was pushing something, you know what I mean? I was either in a Range Rover, or I was in in another vehicle. But needless to say, when I was there, you know what I'm saying, they saw me how I appeared. But they was, they didn't digest the thought completely. You know what I'm saying? It was like get pulled over, you know what I'm saying, and traffic stops, saying I failed to change lanes or something. When they do things like that, you're not seeing how you appear to the extent if you that person that shouldn't be pulled over for practical situations like having on headphones or stuff that they was doing was just unnecessary. Pull somebody over because it looked like they was going into the other lane, a little bit. Whatever they make up, whatever they come up with, whatever the reasons are for the stop, I feel like if it's not substantial enough to you can ride next to the vehicle and say, "You okay?" And that may be intrusive, but it's not a stop and you get pulled over and arrested and apprehended, in traffic. You know what I'm saying? Traffic is a delicate situation. Traffic is your license plate. Traffic is your VIN number. Traffic is your driver's license. Traffic is your insurance. Traffic is everything about you, your social security number, where you live, how do you work, what do you do for a living. Traffic stops are delicate. When people have these law enforcement jobs, they don't understand how intrusive they being pulling people over in traffic. And it's so delicate. look how precise the person has to be in order to not get a ticket, to not be, arrested for some type of crime they supposedly committed. I'm not going to go into depth of the crimes committed against humanity by America, white America, particularly white Americans have committed crimes against humanity established in America, and they so harsh on the public about driving, a regulated speed or driving. They don't let things go a certain way that you would say it's so ironic for them not to let anything go. Hold on. It's so ironic for them not to let anything go when the people accept the things that they've done and have the understanding enough to say, well, you were under the influence at the time that you killed off the Indians. We digest you killing all the animals for food. When you killed all the animals, correction. When you killed off the Indians and the remaining Indians on reservations, I'm not making this up. I'm dealing with history being history. When you did that, it left a void in history. History has a void. The Indians are on plantations, and their land is not seen as their land right now. It's seen as Americans' land, but Americans aren't true Americans. Americans came from Europe, Africa, different regions, and took over their land and called it their own. So saying that to say, God provided land. God provided man with land. But if you get too greedy, or if you get too if you fall asleep at any point, then certainly, God will wake you up. God will wake you up saying, well, the Indians were here. You can't do the Indians like that. God will wake you up. God will say, listen, hey, you're abusing this situation. You're being abusive. Now you're trying to steal people's identities. Listen, if you have somebody working for the distribution process, pay them like you would pay anybody else. Don't discriminate. Don't redirect their monies so that they can compensate for the difference of the pandemic and possibly venture on to a hip hop headquarters. Don't discriminate against them because they have potential to grow further than the other person. Don't discriminate. Don't be harsh on people where people aren't harsh on you. We aren't harsh on you. The people, you see that United States flag back there? That United States flag means something. The people fought to get this far. This digital transfer of information is not no coincidence. This is science. Science is history. It's technology. It's law. It's medicine. It's all above, all in one screen. You see this YouTube hat? You see that YouTube logo over there? You see that clock? That clock. That's an atomic time clock. If I get an Apple computer, that clock right there, I have the same time as the Apple computer. It doesn't have this same time because I gear this time a certain way, and I gear the time elsewhere a certain way, and you can't tell what the difference is from location to location. But in between the two, the time will be exactly what it's supposed to be from atomic time clock to this computer to other location. So I have an American lifetime time clock and I have an atomic time clock, and in between the two, you'll notice that I'll take a picture of the American lifetime time clock and post it on Twitter, and I'll take a picture of the atomic time clock and post it on Twitter, and both of them have 0 on the screen, which not 0 on both screens, but both of them be precisely at the same time, but different times. You noticed that, didn't you? You noticed it. See, you was paying attention. You was paying attention. How can I have 10 o'clock at 10 o'clock, but have two different clocks at 10 o'clock? One upstairs, one downstairs, have enough time to be on time at 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing my homework in here. I'm doing my homework. When I say 911, you better believe if you're not accountable for the accountabilities of 911 being in its proper context, then you sworn in to protect and serve before you're not. And my equal protection of the law, 14th Amendment rights of the United States Constitution. What? Do your homework. What, you think I'm playing? I'm not playing in here. 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law. Are you joking? Sworn in to protect and serve, your duty sworn to protect and serve the citizens of the United States. The accountability is now. I'm not playing. You won't tamper with my identity and say Nancy Pelosi just has experience. She has experience in appropriating the monies, but when it gets intricate like this with an S on it, when it gets intricate like this, you appropriate. You individualize it if necessary, but you don't leave something unsaid that needs to be said because it needs to be said before it's not said. And I'm not complaining, YouTuber Sean Cannell. I'm not complaining. What I'm doing is I'm being assertive in a situation that's clearly without application. People are the Federal Trade Commission is watching what's going on right now. OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Association, they're watching what's going on. The United States Labor Department, they understand what's going on, but they're not applying themselves to the situation where lives are in jeopardy. Lives are in jeopardy of being lost. You know, the pandemic is killing people. 16,500 bodies have accumulated in a year's time. In a year's time, that's the amount of bodies that have accumulated. And monthly, it's like, well, I won't say what it is monthly, but you know, it's a huge amount of people dying, and we come into a crossroad. But you know, certainly we have to take care of home first. We taking care of home. We have to take care of home first. I seen them. They assisted Taiwan in the medical process, and Taiwan appreciated. They gave thanks, and we received a lot of ventilators and things like that from other countries. We aren't without being helped. But if your house is in flames right now, riots, you know, pandemics, hospitals, you know, complaining that it's no supplies like they need, and you know, things going on, and the conditions are harsh conditions for everyone. We need to take care of home. If those hospitals are without supplies right now, make sure they have supplies before you venture out somewhere else and fix something else. It's good to be able to venture out somewhere else, but don't leave home not being home. So home as controversial of a situation is with the Indians being on reservations and us Black Americans, African Americans being away from home, being taken from our home and brought to this land, and it being now our home. You know, you have to keep going back to this situation. Just what is the position of the Indians? Do they plan on just kicking us off the land once we award them the land owners? You know, we have to come to some type of crossroad. We have to come to some type of conclusion, because if we don't, the police are enforcing a law and it's contradicting to the laws that they've broken. Let me say that again. The police are enforcing a law, but it's contradicting to the laws that they have broken. The accountability is now for any laws that have been broken based on the killing of the Indians and placing them on reservations and stealing their land and all of the heinous crimes against humanity that follow. The accountability is now. So we don't say, we're gonna lock everybody up. It's extremists running around this joint. They can hear me. Extremists listen to what I'm saying because I always say what I'm saying with a precision, with the application of right and wrong, with a precision of law and order, a precision of justice will prevail. It's always with a precision, but I'm waiting to reap the rewards. The rewards are soon to follow, but I'm not going to casually wait on the rewards without Nancy Pelosi knowing, how I feel about the situation where I just went to Chicago Motor Cars and attempted to purchase a Lamborghini SVJ Aventador 63, and I'm experiencing a huge delay. I don't know if she showed up there and said, "Well, it's okay, the monies are going to be, in the same place." I don't know if she did that. They're not telling me everything between her and them. She wouldn't have anything to do with me purchasing a Lamborghini SVJ. I'm going to tell you, the vehicle is a channel car. It's not your usual. It's not a domestic. This is not a domestic conversation. I generate a level of information that's past the channel car. I need more than one channel car, actually, but I'm not at that point right now. But I'm well within reason of Bugatti. I'm well within reason of Lamborghini. Well within reason. But just saying that to say, when I'm approaching this purchase is a challenging one. When I go to the store to buy food from the store, it's a challenging one. I have to walk to the store. It's not a mile away, but it's some distance away that you would be concerned about what would happen in between me going to the store. I'm putting it out there because, it's people lurking that's trying to cause me harm, and I know it. Ladrell Robinson, in my estimation, killed Ruth Bader Ginsburg in a way that his identity, his fingerprint, was all over the crime scene. It wasn't a crime scene initially, but when I noticed his fingerprints all over the crime scene, I'm yet to prove it, but I'm pretty sure it was him. I'm pretty sure of it. He has a fingerprint that's touched things until something breaks. He has a fingerprint like that, and he has a hand problem. And somebody like Ruth Bader Ginsburg was fragile to the extremes that he would harness from the World Trade Center and be before the United States Supreme Courts and intentionally be before somebody from Brooklyn, me being from Brooklyn, be intentionally in front of somebody from Brooklyn that would be of an elder, place and not as strong as he would be, a young, bull of a personality he is, and a murderer as well in my estimation, but can't prove it. Freedom of speech, First Amendment, freedom, right to freedom of expression. Can't prove it, but he certainly has a fingerprint that's all over the place. Now, needless to say, the purchase of my channel car, back to what I was saying, not the fingerprint scenario, back to what I was saying about purchasing the channel car doesn't reflect the information I generate, but it's not me walking to the store. And I wouldn't be in this district as challenging of a situation. I'm not completely complaining about my situation. It's not the most intolerable situation to be in. I have shelter, I have food at times, I have things somewhat in a proper context, but where it gets intricate of Social Security and stimulus checks and vaccines. If I have a business card, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm not playing around. I'm that person. Look at this business card. What does it read on it? It's a website, domain name, address, and it goes somewhere. It goes somewhere. This card is actively real. This portion of the card, this portion, when I gave this card to Congress, this card right here, it went somewhere. It wasn't a domain name that wasn't functioning. This card is functional. Now, when I turn this card over, this portion of the card is functional. It has information on it that's linked directly to me. My Social Security number, my Social Security check, my stimulus checks, my vaccine access. I haven't received the vaccine, but this is my business card. This is the card that I talk about all the time. So you have some type of idea what type of information that I'm generating, that a channel card would be my channel card in no less of a place. Now, simultaneously, you receive this information live. You receive that live broadcast. Now, imagine you had a stimulus check at the same time as you having a vaccine. You felt a certain way about that information you just witnessed. You observed the stimulus check and the vaccine in the same exact place. Imagine having the stimulus check and the vaccine in the exact same place. Whenever you receive it, you're not poked in the arm. I just don't like needles. I'm scared of needles. I don't know about this vaccine. It's scaring me. You don't have that. If you did have that, it would be okay. Don't worry about it. Go buy something out of the mall. Don't worry. Just spend some of the stimulus check money when you feel like that. Go buy some vitamins or something. Feel good about yourself today. Don't worry about, it's going to be okay. We don't have much experience or history with this vaccine yet. But don't worry about that part of it. We got trained professionals, issuing the stimulus check money, trained professionals issuing the vaccine. Just follow our lead. You know what I mean? Don't feel like that. Stimulus check. Look how precise this card is. Whoever designed this card has to be on his P's and Q's, because being on your P's and Q's with a stimulus check, that precise and in the same place. When you try and put together a problem, when you try and put together a math problem, when you try and solve a math problem, you have to write it down and figure out what the answer is, and don't think this is anything less. When I go to Staples and get a business card made like this one, when I go and get something like this made, don't think for a moment that I'm not saying, well, how could I fix the situation that we're in, and apply what I'm saying now to getting this business card made. Don't think this is not real work. Can you imagine? This doesn't exist. This card exists right now, but nothing like it exists in the history of vaccines. This card right here. This is the first time ever in history that a vaccine and stimulus check is on the same business card to be distributed so that the results would be people will receive vaccines and business, so that people will receive vaccines and stimulus checks simultaneously. You receive this, you feel a certain way about this right now. When I do this intentionally, I'm shaking this card in front of you so You can see this is a simultaneous reality right now. These two realities are moving around simultaneously. When you're injected with the vaccine and you don't know if you're going to have food, this is not a reflection of that. This is not a reflection of you not having food. This is a reflection of you getting a vaccine and having food, having transportation, having the resources needed to pay your bills. This card right here, this is not your usual everyday business card from the lawyers, the law firm. This is not from the medical office. This is not from Congress. This is not from nobody ever. It's one of a kind. It's never happened before. Know that I'm generating this level of information before you jump in front of my channel car is my point. My channel car is to be respected as a channel car and nothing less than my personal vehicle. It's my preferred vehicle. I want the Lamborghini SVJ Aventador 63 now. And I'm going to change districts. I'm not going to be driving the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ 63 in this jurisdiction. I'm just not going to be doing that. The locality that I'm going to transfer my information is over there, and that's how I'm going to do it. That's why the process is so challenging, because I'm not just buying a car. I'm transitioning to a different district as well. I'm transitioning to different. To give you some type of idea of what type of extremes are present transitioning from district to district. This locality has leeches and bugs that follow you wherever you go in this district while you're in this district. And the bugs and leeches that follow you or latch onto you, they attempt to follow you wherever you go. So this being a direct product of where slavery began, the lingering of those historical chain of events are still lingering. The behaviors still linger. The identities are still present. So when you have that type of force in place and not trying to move, no matter where you go, it may take this to do it. It may take just this to do it, because this has never happened before, and it never will, within reason of it being duplicated in an impossible extreme. I'm creating impossible extremes right now. Right now, as I show you this business card, where on both sides is a print, but on one side is a stimulus check, as you see, stimulus check, a picture of a stimulus check, and on the other side is a vaccine. Simultaneously, I move this card. Simultaneously, this information transfers digitally. You see this digitally. I'm not a magician. This is real information. You see YouTube? I put this information on YouTube, and they gave me a content strike twice. Twice. That's not a peace sign. That's twice. One strike for vaccine 911 video. Second strike for vaccine 911 part 2 video. Exactly what I'm saying. And they'd never seen it before, and that's what they did. That's how they reacted. That was their response to my consistency. So when I presented that same card to Nancy Pelosi at Congress, by way of congressperson, congresswoman, white female, sitting at the fountain, sitting at the small lake in front of Congress, I approached her and said, "Excuse me," and explained, what the contents were on the business card. And she said, "Sure, I'll take the card and I'll take it right inside." I don't know if she had advance notice of me being there, because I made a video at Amtrak prior to being there that was well past just giving her a business card. I was consistent enough to have a gavel with the process of the medical, of the vaccine distribution in my backpack. In my backpack, I had that. I didn't show her that. But if I had shown her that, it probably wouldn't have changed the business card aspect of me passing out a business card ordinarily. But I gave her the business card, and she gestured that she would take it inside and let them see it. So it probably made it to its destination. You can't steal the copyright and Staples consistency. I'm still going to be yelling and screaming. The process is being redirected. You're challenging who I am, stealing my information. I'm going to be that person. You can't mope me out or nothing either, because it's other repercussions. You have riots. You have people responding to these extremes of information being redirected long enough for people to die. 617,000 bodies wasn't the body count at the time. It probably was close to 400,000 at the time. Now it's 617,000 bodies. Let's get on the ball, people. Let's get on the ball. Stop hating on my channel card when this has never been done. This has never been done. This is proof here. This is digital. This is going to transfer digitally. I'm transferring a live broadcast, and this live broadcast is well within reason of the way things are done. This United States flag, YouTube hat, religious pendant here. When you have religious information that transfers back to our reasons for being brought here, our presence of being here, it's one thing. But when you hear assisting in the distribution of vaccine and this distribution of stimulus check simultaneously, what you have is a being that's to be acknowledged. You don't have a being that you watch walk to the store and possibly get by a runaway vehicle. You don't take no chances like that. This is to be treasured. This is past work. This takes effort. This is art. This is a creativity understanding that should never be ignored to this extent. Sure, you have the luxury of observing me digitally, but so what? It's not in its proper context. Once it's in its proper context, then you enjoy the luxuries. Stop abandoning your identity in an attempt to steal somebody else's identity. Stop abandoning your identity to have the results somewhere else that cause somebody to go through some huge delay or redirection as a direct result of what you're doing. You're really doing what you're doing. And when I post this broadcast, this live stream, people are going to say, well, some people are going to say, I'm not going to watch them for an hour. Let me see exactly. It's not an hour right now. We're going on some time now. We're going on half an hour. And half an hour's time, you haven't noticed as a half an hour. I've been going ever since I got on stage, and I got my United States flag up where I haven't had it up before. I may take it down so it has its place in time as opposed to all my other broadcasts without it. This is a special broadcast. This has a United States flag, an atomic time plaque, YouTube here, plaques over there, and I'm just this person that I'm saying you should acknowledge. If I get in combat and kill somebody, you're gonna probably show up saying, hey, why did you kill that person? I had to defend my life. Why else? I had to survive. When God told Noah to build an ark, he didn't say you're gonna have to kill somebody, while his intentions to kill people were elsewhere. If God said, listen, I'm going to help you out, build an ark, I'm going to kill everybody else, all right? The people find out that God told you to build an ark is one thing, but, to build an ark by itself alone, everybody's going to say, I want an ark. Why you not helping? Why you don't build me an ark? Whatever the argument is, argument is going to surface. our argument is going to surface. God didn't tell Noah to kill nobody, but God told Noah he was going to kill everybody because of violence. So Noah just had to know, get ready for war, get ready for combat. This is not an ark, but this certainly has a place on this digital screen that doesn't move less than an ark. This information, it has an ark presence, because you can't see this card at all when I hold it this way. All you see is the United States flag and YouTube. Look at it. Look at the card. What do you see on it? What does it read? Once I turn it this way, it says Moderna 94%. Once I turn it this way, it says stimulus checks, USA. My point is, at the same time, in the same place, that information transfers whether you can see it or not. You can see that information transfers. When they don't accept my information into the mainstream, people without food have vaccine. People waiting on a stimulus check have their vaccine. People been evicted have the vaccine. Things are obviously out of place. Why does it take a broadcast of this magnitude to express the consistency of this card? Why does this card, why is it so much of an obstacle that the consistency of me purchasing a channel card being the same place as this card that I'm holding now? Why is my channel card so impossible to get into and transition to a different district with this card that I'm showing you? This card has information on both sides that's consistent with what you're doing. You're doing all that work. And people don't have food. All that work and people don't have vaccines right now. People don't have vaccines in every case. Some people don't even trust the vaccine. But not only that, when you see this broadcast, you say, why would I take a chance on taking a vaccine? This is my point. Why would I take a chance on taking a vaccine when my stimulus check is not obviously in the same place when I'm saying what I'm saying? I'm saying what I'm saying. Why would I let you inject me with less than what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I'm saying what I'm saying right now. This business card has stimulus check on one side, vaccine on the other. This could easily be introduced into the mainstream, and the general practice of both being in the same place every single time be the norm. Why would I let you inject me with a serum that's going to be less than what I'm saying right now? That means you're going to inject me with a vaccine, and I'm going to be waiting on a stomach check. My arms are going to be going like this going down the street to the store. It doesn't make logical sense. Nancy Pelosi, I close with saying, hear my voice. Hear my voice. You're the Speaker of the House. Hear my voice. This information needs to be heard. Everybody, donate. Feel free to donate. Visit my new website. My new website is set up a little bit different now. You can donate at the end of your experience. It's going to be an extravagant experience, considering how extravagant this experience has been. Donate. You can donate from $1 to $1 million. You got billionaires that may owe me money, and not saying they owe me money, but the point that I'm making is stop hating and donate.